Hi everyone. Today I'd like to show you a puzzle that I found on chess.com, and it is said that even the strongest grandmasters couldn't solve this puzzles, Russian grandmasters. But I doubt the legitimacy of this question, in this statement, because I believe a grandmaster should be able to solve this puzzle at least. But I'll see if you can solve it now. It's white to move, and win, and this puzzle is being played from white's perspective. So the white pawns move up and the black pawns move down. I'll give you some time to pause the video and figure out a solution for it. And I suggest you take a lot of time because there is a lot of variations. So good luck. Okay, welcome back. The move you had to find was knight h to f1. And now the black king has two options. He could either move the king to g1, or they could push the pawn to g2. Let's see what happens if the king goes to g1. Then you go knight to d2. This is the move you had to find. And now the black has a few options. They could either go back, which wouldn't make much sense because they just brought the king to g1. Makes no sense to just go back. So let's see what happens if you push the pawn. What if you push this pawn to g2? Then just sacrifice the knight. You have two knights. You have a huge material advantage. You can just sacrifice. All you need to ensure is that this white pawn makes it out alive, and it looks like it's happening now. Because if you capture the knight, you're never capturing the pawn. The pawn's just going to promote. Plus, this white king is protecting the queening square for the black pawn. So this is just an easy win for white. So g2 is out of the question. But what if you promote to a queen? Now this looks pretty easy. Just capture the queen, right? But which knight do you capture it with? The correct answer is not this knight. Let's see what happens if we do capture with the knight on the e file. But the thing about this position is it's complete draw. Black's still not going to win this, but it's actually a complete draw. I'll show you why. Now the black king attacks the pawn, the white pawn, and you have to protect this pawn. If you didn't know, two knights can never checkmate a black king. There is a way that you can checkmate the black king, but it can't be forced. So that would just be a theoretical draw. So you have to protect that pawn, and the only way to save the pawn is pushing it. So you go pawn to h4, but then king goes to h3, and you have to protect that pawn. So the only good way to protect is knight to f3. But now you push your g2 pawn, and this pawn has two ways to promote. You can either just move it forward and promote, or capture the knight. So this is what they're threatening now, because this square is covered. The pawns are not going to promote there. So now you have to give up your white pawn because it comes to check, capture the pawn, and now you will win the black pawn. But since there's no way to checkmate with two knights, this is a dead draw. So that's why you can't capture with the e knight. You have to capture the d knight, because you know why you have to capture the d knight, because this knight is having a very important role. It's protecting this square, so this pawn can never push because you're just going to sacrifice. So now what happens is, if you go g2, sacrifice, both knights have been sacrificed, and you can just push the pawn to victory. Okay, that's what happens if the king goes to g1. But what if you push g2? Black pushes g2, then you go knight to d2. You can't go knight to d2 because black just promotes. Black as a queen, you're definitely losing this. It'll take some time, but you're definitely losing this. So you can't go d2. What you have to do is actually go h4. As crazy as it seems, that's what you have to do. Why do you have to do this? First of all, black can never capture and promote to a queen because you just capture it back. Black attacks your knight, you move it away, and we've already reached this position before. White is protecting the queening square for black, and this black king will never reach the white pawn. So that's not an option for black. But what if black just promotes? This looks like black is just completely winning. Didn't we already see this before? Nope, because now white has this king to f7 move. And now what? It just looks like a random king move. How is this going to help you in any way? Because if you notice, this black pawn cannot move forward because this knight is blocking its way. This king cannot move anywhere because this both white knights are protecting it from moving anywhere. The only piece that black can move is this queen. And if you notice, this queen is completely trapped. These knights are covering both of these squares. This other white knight is covering both these squares. Pawn covers the square and the king covers all three of these squares. Black king is completely trapped in. So the only good thing you can do is sacrifice your queen, and as you can see, you're never reaching the pawn. We've already reached this position before 3 times in this video now. So that was the solution to this puzzle. If you solved it, congratulations, because it is very hard to find. I tried for like 2 hours but I couldn't do it. If you like the video, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.